guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you guys are new here. So for today's video, I am so excited because when I saw this palette, I just could not wait to talk about it. So in today's video, we'll be reviewing the new Nomad Cosmetics. This is the Okavango Safari palette. You guys want to see what this palette's all about, what type of look I create, and all the details, well then definitely keep watching. Okay guys, so if you guys did not know, I have worked at Animal Kingdom for over 11 years. I used to never say what park I worked at. I used to always tell you guys it was one of the 4 parks, but never actually said what park I worked at. But now I'm telling you guys I worked at Animal Kingdom for over 11 years. Haven't said the restaurant yet. Eventually I will, but I have such a soft spot for Animal Kingdom. It's been my home for 11 years. So when Nomad sent over the Okavango Safari palette, I was like, oh my gosh. I instantly fell in love because this just reminds me of being at home. Animal Kingdom will always be my home to me. So here is the Okavango Safari palette. First off, let's appreciate the packaging. The packaging alone is just like, oh. And yes, did I match my nails? I did. So this is the Okavango Safari Intense Eyeshadow Palette. It says, the destination. Feel the rumble, hear the crash, see the herd. Welcome to Botswana Okavango Delta and its awe-inspiring Animal Kingdom. This natural oasis that springs to life with seasonal floodwaters is home to some of the world's most endangered mammals, sustaining the largest population of elephants on Earth and robust communities of rhinos, hippos, lions, African wild dogs. A safari to the Okavango creates a once-in-a-lifetime experience and supports conservation of the vast area of the precious wildlife. A color story. Majestic Kingdom. Expressive safari hues colored inspired by Okavango's magnificent creatures from golden lions to green crocodiles to gray elephants and dark brown buffaloes. 9 majestic mats, 3 stunning shimmers, and 3 animal print shimmer swirls encased in a soft touch leopard print palette. The cause. We are so excited to help protect the majestic animals and the communities of the safari by supporting the Wilderness Wildlife Trust. So first off, I'm proud of myself because I just read that through in one sitting and I did it myself. Which gets me really excited. But secondly, you guys know that I love supporting Nomad Cosmetics. I love that every single time Nomad does a palette, they always support a cause within that area, and that to me is just everything, especially when it has to do with conservation and helping to support wildlife. That is such a soft spot in my heart, because if you guys did not know, I know a lot of people get kind of weary when it comes to Animal Kingdom and all the other places out there that do have animals there. They get kind of weary, oh, animals shouldn't be captive, and I completely understand where you're coming from. But I will say the one good thing about Animal Kingdom is that it is a conservation. They do donate to conservations. They do a lot of educational systems and show you guys how all these animals were born inside captivity and they could not survive in the wild if they wanted to because they were born there. And they're actually helping to save some of the endangered animals that you see in the wildlife. They had them at Animal Kingdom. They're trying to bring back the population. They are so educational. They're so giving. I really love everything that Animal Kingdom stands for, and I have to commend them for it. So that's not what this video is about, but I'm just going off about Animal Kingdom because I love it. But here we have, like I said, this is the Okavango Safari palette. This actually does retail for $42, and it's going to be launching on May 30th at 12:01 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Their launch dates are always so weird, always so confusing. So it's going to be launching Monday night, Tuesday morning. It's the oddest thing. I'll never get their launch times, but it'll be launching on Tuesday, May 30th for you guys if you guys want to pick it up for $42. And you guys can use code Allie, save you guys 10% off. But enough with that. Let me show you guys what this palette actually looks like. So first off, when you open it up, this is the packaging right here. This actually is a very soft fur texture. I don't know how to describe it other than it does feel like a soft fur. I definitely was a little thrown back when I first saw the packaging versus the palette because I'm kind of I didn't get it. Maybe the packaging be very similar to the Unicorn, but it's a little different. Definitely took me by surprise, but then it also makes sense. And then when you open up the color story, this is what we have right here. I'm not gonna lie, when I first saw this, I was like, oh, okay. it's pretty, but like if I'm sitting here thinking of Africa, I am thinking of all these colors, but I'm also thinking of like a deep orange and a deep yellow for the beautiful African sunsets. I don't know if you guys have had a chance to like look at documentaries like Planet Earth and stuff like that. Some of the sunsets they have in Africa is just, oh my God, they're prettiest in this world, I swear to God. So I thought for sure we would see something like that in this palette. I didn't really expect to see pretty much an all neutral palette, but the more that I swatched this, the more that I looked at it, I really started to fall in love with the color story, because you start to realize that they really are captivating the essence of safari, because you do have a lot of those grays, you do have a lot of those browns, which if you guys don't know, Africa is mainly brown. Like there's some really gorgeous, beautiful parts. Don't get me wrong. I'm dying to go to South Africa. It's one of the biggest places I want to visit. But I will say it's starting to really look more like a safari, like the Okavango safari. Like you can definitely see the colors with the elephants, the green crocodiles, tons and tons of browns, maybe a little pop of like a golden orange. That's what you guys can see right here. So based upon first impressions, I will say it's a really beautiful like neutral palette. And I will say Nomad doesn't really have any neutral palettes in their collection. They're a very, very colorful brand, which I really love about them. But they don't really have a lot of neutral palettes. So if you are a neutral lover, this is going to be the palette for you. Now, I already did swatches for you guys, and I can say that the mattes are super pigmented. They swatched really nicely, but I have noticed, because I swatched this palette now several times off camera, that the shimmers to me feel very hard pressed. They don't feel soft, they don't feel creamy, they just feel very hard pressed. And it feels like I have to kind of dig in there a little bit more with my finger just to get a color pigment. But this is based upon first impressions. I haven't tried it on the eyes yet, so we're gonna see how well it performs, because if it performs well, then I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit if it's like hard press. Like I don't care as long as it still works. But if it doesn't work, then I'm gonna have a little bit of an issue with that. But based upon first impressions, I will say that it's not as creamy as I want, but as long as it delivers pigment, that's all that matters. So I'm gonna go ahead and zoom you guys in. I'm so excited to play with this palette. Like I said, I feel like this really is such a gorgeous palette. It really does remind me of home at Animal Kingdom. I look at it, I get so inspired. I love the greens, I love the browns. I do wish that maybe they had a little bit of a lighter brown. I feel like a lot of the browns in here are a little bit more cool tone on the deeper side. If they had like one light brown shade to make it easy for like blending and transition, that'd be nice. But we're definitely gonna play around with this to see like what I feel. So enough rambling on. I'm gonna get you guys zoomed on in. Okay guys, so to start off, we're gonna go into the shade called Elusive Leopards right here. We're gonna do a really fun like brown green eyeshadow to kind of represent like the, you know, the African safari and crocodiles, because, well, if you guys don't know, I live in Florida, so we do have some saltwater crocodiles here, don't get me wrong, but we do have the American alligator. And it's so funny because I lived in Florida my whole life, right? So I absolutely have no fear of alligators. No fears whatsoever. What's wrong with you? Especially like where I grew up, we had a little man-made lake over by my parents' house, and I would literally sit there in the grass right next to an alligator and read my book. I was never afraid of alligators, and to this day I'm still not afraid of them, like at all. I'm still not afraid of them. Actually, I don't want to go into that shade just yet. I want to go into the shade undecided. We're gonna go into the shade Vumbura Plains. I don't know if I'm saying that right. But yeah, so I have absolutely no fear of alligators whatsoever. And it's so funny when I tell people that, they're like, what? I'm like, yeah, they're not scary. Like, they're really not scary. So anyway, I am pre-filming this video. So yesterday, you guys are gonna hear me talk about this twice, because spoiler alert, after this I'm filming my new makeup release video, so I'm gonna talk about this twice. I posted my video where I talked about I fell for a job scam. One, I was really scared to film that video just because you do open yourself up to scrutiny of people by being so open and vulnerable. You guys were incredible. You guys were so incredible. I did not expect that. I did not expect people to be as sweet and as helpful as possible. The amount of you guys that sent me DMs of jobs to apply to, which I wrote everything down. I've already started applying to jobs this morning. I'm gonna finish when I get done filming, applying to jobs that you guys suggested, which I really do appreciate. You guys have no idea like how much that means to me. I just genuinely wasn't expecting the video to do what it did. And I wasn't looking for like pity. I wasn't looking for any of that, because that wasn't what the video was about. The video was literally to me to tell you guys, be vigilant, like be careful, because I've seen so many guys in my comment section, in my DMs for a while now, saying you guys are trying to find a job, or your significant other's trying to find a job, and that you guys are having a hard time just like I am. And I just wanted to give you guys a heads up, like, hey, I didn't know this was a thing. I didn't know that there are job scammers on LinkedIn and on Indeed and all these like hiring websites. Just be careful when applying. do a little bit of research, just make sure it's a legitimate job, and don't fall for something the way that I did. So that was the whole point of the video, but I just genuinely didn't expect the response that I got. It was really overwhelming, but in a really beautiful way. And it just kind of reminds me how beautiful the world can be, because I was so scared I was going to see some negative comments because, well, you just know how people are on the internet. They just love to be negative for whatever reason. And I was just really scared I was going to get some. And you guys were just the sweetest. And oh my gosh, it brought me to tears so many times. I can't even express how many times it brought me to tears. So I just wanted to thank you guys for being so sweet. I did have an opportunity to do some contracted work for a brand, which I am taking them up on their offer. So it's not like a full job, but it's still contracted work that I'm going to be doing. And I'm so excited because this just allows me to like build my skills, put on my resume. Like, I'm so excited, and it just wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for you guys. So thank you. Also, just a reminder, I did talk about this in my video yesterday, but technically today, because you guys haven't seen it yet. Singe Beauty is doing the Memorial Day sale where you guys can save 20% off the brushes if you guys use the code Memorial Day 20. Just want to let you guys know the sale is going on right now. I really do love these brushes. They're so freaking good. Also, Bling Brushes is doing 50% off all brushes right now too. And I think my code Allie does apply, so I think you could actually save 60% if you guys wanted to. Just a little heads up. But anyway, I just genuinely really wanted to thank you. So thank you guys for just all the kindness. It really has not gone unnoticed. And I'm not giving up, guys. I literally said in my video yesterday, I'm not giving up. I'm not giving up. To me, it was just another hurdle that I just have to jump through. And to me, it was a great learning lesson. And I'm really glad that I experienced it, actually, because it just really kind of opened my eyes to like the reality of the situation, you know what I mean? There's so many jobs specifically designed for Animal Kingdom that I know I do not qualify for, but you know what? I don't care. Like, they had like a volunteer opportunity. Now I'm gonna go into exclusive leverage right here. If they had a volunteer opportunity where I could work with the animals, I would 100% volunteer. Even if they're like, ma'am, all you're gonna do is clean shit. I don't care. I'm with the animals. I could care less. Are you kidding me? It would be such an honor to clean up a giraffe poop. If that means I get to work with giraffes, like, I could care less. So just know that I have constantly been on Disney's website, like, looking to see what jobs are Animal Kingdom. I'd even do, like, be the truck driver to the safari ride, because that would be a lot of fun. Or be the people that you see at the Jungle Trek or the Maharaja Asia Trek, where you can sit there and you could just educate people about the animals. I would 100% do that. I would 100% do that, just because it allowed me to be outside, it allowed me to be around the animals, and it just allowed me to be back at Disney, because I really do. I have the Disney pixie dust, is what they like to call it. I'm going to go into the shade called Roaring Lions right here. Okay. It's going on the lid, but it's not as creamy as I want to be, or as pigmented. I'm like really having to dig in here. It's pretty, it's laying down, but I just feel like it can definitely have more pigment. So I'm taking like the tiniest bit of glitter glue. And I'm gonna put it right on top of this, just because I wonder if this will help make it a little bit more pigmented. I really want this palette to perform beautifully, because I really do love the idea and the concept behind this, especially because it is like reminds me of Animal Kingdom so much, and would love Disney to come out with like theme park palettes. That would be absolutely fantastic if they did. So I just really, really want this to perform well. So looks like by laying down some glitter glue, it's definitely adding more pigment to the eye. But it's just weird, because when it comes to Nomad, you guys know how much I love Nomad Cosmetics. I really do. But some of their palettes have really, really creamy formula, and some of the other ones just don't. And I don't know why that happens. But as long as the palette performs, I can deal with like hard pressed shadows. But yeah, anyway, so I kept where I work secret for a very long time, just because I just didn't know if anyone would ever come in, because I never wanted my job to get upset if people came in and like asked for me and saw me, because I wouldn't mind, but I never knew how my job would like react to it. So that's why I still keep it a secret, because if there's always a chance that I can go back, I'm going to take the opportunity to go back if they offer it to me, because it was just fantastic money. And I do miss working at the theme park. Surprisingly enough, I hated it at the time. Like, I really did, because I hated having to work the holidays and stuff like that. But then there's times where I miss I miss like the crazy guest stories, the crazy interaction, because like you really do see the best in people when you work at Disney. Like you see the best in people. Like I have never encountered more families fighting than when you're at Disney. It's the most weirdest thing. And now that they don't have the dining plan, it's making it easier for servers to make a lot of money. But they are bringing the dining plan back in the new year, and it's just fascinating to watch the dynamics of people at Disney. It's also why I love to just go. If you ever want to have a good time, y'all, go to Magic Kingdom and really people watch at Magic Kingdom. That's a good day. All right, so I laid some glitter glue down because we're gonna go in a shade called Nile Crocodile right here. And if you guys did not know, they have a special thing at Animal Kingdom that you guys can do the Wild African Trek. It's an additional cost to the theme park, but it allows you guys to go in super early, and you actually get to do like a trek over the safari ride. So there's like this like little, it looks like a jungle gym that's over the crocodile pit and like the water, and like you're kind of like connected to these ropes, and you walk across the bridge over the alligator, over the crocodiles, and the whole time they're teaching you, the whole time they're talking guys about the animals, all the conservation that they do, what they do to help out and give back. And then you get to go like physically on the physical like Serengeti plain, that's what they call it. And there's like a section there, it's like this building where you actually get to sit in the middle of the ride, like the middle of this, like the Serengeti plain. They feed you lunch, they give you drinks, and you get to like learn. You're there for hours. You get to see up close and personal things you never get to see before. It's totally worth it. I told Corey that I've always wanted to do it because it is an additional cost. And that's a big bucket list of mine to do at Animal Kingdom, to do is the Wild African Trek. I don't know if anyone here has done it, but if you guys have, let me know what you guys think, because it looks like it's a lot of fun. Oh, that's really pretty. So I definitely feel like the shadows have performed better. The second I laid down glitter glue, the shadows have performed a lot better. But I definitely have a little bit of struggle at first when it came to just that one shade. The Nile Crocodile, it's okay. It's not nearly as hard pressed as the lion one is, but as long as I can get it to work, I can definitely deal with it. But I will say this is really pretty. Definitely is kind of reminding me a little bit of Animal Kingdom, just a tad, like the Tree of Life. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do the same look on the other eye. I'm gonna come back and we're gonna do the under eyes together, the inner corner, and I really just want to bring out some more greens and browns to this palette. So I'll be right back, guys. Okay, so now that the eyes and the face are pretty much done, I'm really loving how the eye look is turning out. I think it's so pretty. We're gonna go back into this palette and we're gonna go into the shade called Honking Hippos. What a unique name, Honking Hippos. I don't know if I ever heard a hippo honk, but that's a really fascinating name. You know, there was a show on Discovery Channel that said I was prey, and there's quite a few stories on there about people being attacked by hippos in Africa because they'll be like kayaking and a hippo will come and attack the kayak because they're super, super, super territorial creatures. And they're really aggressive, and they are strong, and they're also incredibly fast. If people don't realize that, and it's so funny because like whenever you do go to like Animal Kingdom, for example, and you see the hippos just kind of laying there in the water, just sleeping, you're like, oh, they look so sweet. Think again. They're very, very, very territorial creatures, and they will tear you a new one. But I don't think I've ever heard anyone say that they've honked in the wild, but that's a very fascinating name. All right, so that shade laid down really, really nicely and blended out really beautiful. Now I'm gonna go into a shade called Chief's Island right here, this beautiful like deeper green. And we're gonna use that to like also kind of mix in with this brown shade today. Just slightly going right here. Just like, I love mixing green and brown together. They just complement each other so nicely. Okay, so for eyeliner, I'm going in with the Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Pencil in the shade Perversion. It is my favorite black liner ever. Okay, so on that solid, I'm going to shade called Migrating Zebras right here. This beautiful like swirl of like gray silver. And we're going to take it on my little brush, and we're going to use this to apply to our inner corner and our brow bone today. See, now this shade is applying beautifully. That's really applying nicely. Okay, so for lip liner, we're going to a shade called Cocoa from Linner Beauty. You guys can use code Allie, save you guys 10% when shopping at Linner Beauty. These are the newest lip liners that he just launched. All right, then I'm gonna blend it out with my finger. Now that that's laid down, we're gonna go into the shade called Icon, like this nudie pale lipstick right here. We're going to use this to apply like in the center. Oh, I should have like exfoliated my lips before I did this. Okay, then to top it off, we're going to go into the NYX. This is Milky. This is the Chocolate Shake lip gloss. We're going to use this to apply over this to make it like really nice and pretty. I just feel like it's going to complement it. Yeah, so nicely. And this is the final look, guys. All right, guys, and here is the final look. I'm not gonna lie, I absolutely love how this looks. I think this is so freaking beautiful. There's something about a really beautiful like green, golden brown look. It just really I feel like it's such a pretty stunning look on so many people out there. I'm literally obsessed with like how this looks right now. So here is the Okavango palette right here. Like I said, this actually does retail for $42. You do get a mix of mattes and shimmers in here. And I will say, I definitely did struggle with one of the shimmers. But before I get into that, I just want to talk about the mattes. I really do love how the mattes performed. They're so pigmented, but they blended out really, really nicely. I did not struggle with any sort of blending issues. They laid down really nicely. They had a little bit of kick up and a little bit of fallout on the pan and on the face, but it was very, very easy to work with. I definitely didn't really play with these shades right here. I kind of just wish that they had a little bit more of a lighter brown just to make it easier for like a transition shade. But I will say the mattes that I did play with are beautiful. I feel like they really complemented each other really nicely. I feel like Nomad did a fantastic job when picking out the matte shades. Then we do have the shimmers. Now I will say the Nile Crocodile and the Migrating Zebras, I had absolutely no issues with. The shade Mighty Buffaloes, I did swatch out on its own, and same thing with the Keystone Termites. Didn't have any issues with them whatsoever. They worked beautifully with my finger, with a brush. They laid down really nicely. The only shadow that I'm seeming to have any sort of struggle with is the shade called Roaring Lines right here. And I actually did talk to my friend Angelica. We talk behind the scenes all the time, and I actually talked to her, and she had a little bit of issues when it came to some of the shadows being hard pressed, but they worked really nicely for her. She didn't have any struggles the way that I did, and the only struggle that I did was with the Roaring Line. You guys can see where I kind of really dug in here. It works when I use glitter glue, but by itself I definitely was struggling. So that's the only like negative thing I really have to say, was just that shadow just didn't want to perform the way I wanted it to. I had to work a little bit harder to get it to work for me, but once I laid down that glitter glue, you guys can see it's really pretty. It worked really nicely with that glitter glue. So overall, I think this is a very, very gorgeous palette. I think Nomad Cosmetics did such a really good job capturing like the essence of Safari. I love the concept of this. I love that it's a neutral palette with just a little bit of pops of colors. I think this is going to be definitely a huge hit for them in terms of the color scheme, the packaging, what they're, what cause they're representing. It's just an overall beautiful palette. I think Nomad did such a fantastic job. So this is going to be launching on Tuesday. This is going to be launching on Tuesday, May 30th at 12:01 a.m. Weird times, I know. And you guys can use code Allie, save you guys 10% when shopping over at Nomad. I think this is a beautiful palette. I'm excited to keep playing with this, keep creating beautiful looks. So far, based upon all the palettes I played with Nomad, this is probably like up there as like my top 3 favorite, because I really am obsessed with this eye look. I definitely want to recreate it again because I just think it's absolutely beautiful. So Nomad Cosmetics, congratulations on this beautiful palette. I really am enjoying playing with it. I love the packaging. I love the theme. I love it as a whole. So I'll make sure I link everything that I wear on my face down below for you guys. But I really hope you guys have a safe and wonderful Memorial Day weekend. If you live here in the United States, have fun, go celebrate, and just be careful. And once again, just thank you guys so much for all the love you guys have given me. It's seriously hasn't gone unnoticed. So with that said, guys, that is it for today's video, guys. If you guys enjoyed today's video, please make sure you guys give this video a cheeky thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you guys have not already, so I do post 4 to 5 videos every single week. Make sure you guys head over to my other channels, Art for Life. You guys get to see my cool, wonderful adventures, my amazing husband, Corey. And as always, the biggest thank you goes to these beautiful, wonderful page members you guys see here. Thank you guys so much for everything. And to my subscribers and viewers, thank you guys so much for being here. Whether you guys like this video, you guys thumbs down this video, you guys subscribed, you guys did not subscribe, either way, thank you guys so much for being here. I love and appreciate each and every single one of you. So with that said, guys, I love you, and I'll see you guys in the very next video.